Howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel. You are seeing it. That your eyes are not deceiving you. That is the KPZ-70. Excuse me, the KPZ-70. We are on the Fulda Gap. This is the third, yes, the third dev server. Second one, as you may know, was taken down about 30, maybe 40 minutes after it was put up due to technical issues. So, here's a recording of me playing on the Fulda Gap with the KPZ-70 along with my squad mate, AirMollusk. So, I am just loving the KPZ-70. See, how the dev server works is, when you get on, it's not really your most recent account details. For my case, it was about 3 weeks prior, back in August, when I only had about 2,000 golden eagles. 2,290 to be exact. And so, even though I got paid the 6,000 eagles to make 8,200, that did not apply to the dev server. Yeah. But I was still able to grind the KPZ-70. It's probably the fastest tank I've ever grinded without spending GE. That is, to boost research. Now, what I did was I already took advantage of my two Leopards having the Leo A1 and the first Leo having talismans. In addition to that, I also made use of my premium, the dev server's X5 permanent X5 bonus. Plus, because I was so eager to get the KPZ-70, I bought two 75% RP boosters, which in reality was only 100%. And I grinded this tank in about 4 hours. Probably the fastest anybody could ever grind a tank. I could probably grind a plane in that time. Don't quote me on that because I'm just taking a rough estimate. But in the end, I got the KPZ-70. And of course, I still had some GE left over to get the must-have modifications. The APF SDS, the repair kit, and the fire extinguisher. And yes, the smoke shell. Because why not? But yeah, KPZ-70, love this tank so much. And to deviate a little bit, you saw that correctly. We are holding down the fort, or the castle, hence the title of the video, Castle Games. Or Castle War Games, excuse me. And so me and AirMollusk are just chilling on the castle because it's the dev server, let them come to us. This turned out to be one of the most fun matches I've ever had, ever. Live or dev. So I'm getting my suspension adjusted so I can point my gun further down, and I'll soon have my first targets. And my first two kills are actually players. So, Fulda Gap and Japan. Fantastic maps. They're perhaps some of the best maps Gaijin has ever added to the game. And, to deviate briefly again, you can go around the castle. Devs, please don't remove this. It doesn't offer too much of an advantage because if you're surrounded, forget it. You're stuck up here. Yeah. At a few points in the video, as you'll see, I did get stuck because opponents prevented me from exiting the castle. But anyway, so I have to admit, the first thing I thought when I was on the new Japan map, aka Emperor's Garden, was that it's Final Fantasy with tanks. And I'm not a Final Fantasy player. I have a friend whose dad plays Final Fantasy. I forget which one. I want to say it's 14. Don't quote me on that because I'm obviously not familiar with that franchise. But the Emperor's Garden and Fulda Gap, fantastic maps. I think they're the best maps ever added. Particularly for rank 5, or, no, I should say rank 6. Hang on a sec, I think this is where the first target of the day comes in. T10M. And surprise! And then immediately afterward, T64. At the time, I didn't know he did not have an FPE, so I just kept shooting, not knowing that he was dead anyway. So finally, by the third shot, I get his gunner or commander again, and he is out of the action. But then, to my shock, AirMollusk gets destroyed by a T-55 LZHR. There he is right there. And he does something rather, some people might think is stupid, but I thought it was an epic. Even though he failed at it, it was still a valiant effort, and it gave me a good laugh. I won't spoil it, so I'll wait till it gets to that part. And then, excuse me, I'm trying to look for his name. As I'm watching it, it's a little blurry. But the MBT-70 here is taken out by our Leopard A1A1. To save video RAM while editing, Movie Maker thinks it's alright to blur it, so I can't really see their name tags. I'm going on a little screenshot that I have, which apparently doesn't have everybody listed, because on the dev server, if you leave the match, after a while your name is removed. Wait, hang on. I'm gonna see if I have a copy of that image. So, LZHR tries to climb the stairs. I don't know if he doesn't have the engine power, or if he's just simply not able to get up there without slipping, but he tries, and he keeps me up there. I can't go down there because he can one-shot me by my lower glacis. So, being up here can also have a disadvantage. If they're focused on you, you're not coming down. And because there's two entrances to the castle, that is, two stairwells, they can flank you from the other end. So that puts you even more danger. And what, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, but Schlutz 1991 does a rather interesting move. He dangles over the castle wall to shoot at the T-55, which the T-55 deploys his exhaust smoke, and he gets away. Very awesome move there. So we just hold down the fort and wait for more to come. Ah, it's Jiggle Monster, the MBT-70. And let's see. Ah, I was saying it right. Schlutz 1991 was the Leo that took out the MBT-70. So I'm curious as to how those tanks are going to play out once they increase in numbers. And I don't know if this was a dev server only feature, but even though I did have the mouse, I did not have to have it in order to grind the KPC-70. I did not know this. But at any rate, I hope they keep it that way, because not everybody has the mouse. A while back, when I graduated from college, I got some money as a gift from some friends, and I spent some of that to get the mouse. For bragging rights, of course. Little did I realize that would come in handy later on, as in 1.71, when it drops, I'm going to be able to buy the KPZ-70 without issue. Ouch. Yeah. Anyway, coming back here. Meanwhile, Commander Wolfen in his Puma is trying to climb up the stairs with me. For some reason, he disconnects the rope. I guess it was an accident. Or wait, I'm sorry, I did, and yeah. Feels bad, man. That made me so mad. I was like, why did you hurt my Puma? So, I decide I am going to get this guy, one way or another. LZHR, you're going down, is what I thought. The funny thing is that when he tries to come up here, he gets his shot wrong, or he actually doesn't shoot me, he aims wrong, because I wasn't looking. And when he comes, I'm like, oh no! And I take my shot, and boom. And you're probably wondering why I'm using Sabo more than ATGM. Well, I don't know if... Bear in mind, on the dev server, things are experimental, things are subject to change, and bugs might be present that may or may not be present in the stable release. At any rate, when I used the ATGM, I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I was watching an episode from... I can't remember if it was Mike Goes Boom or the Orange Doom, but one of them said it wrong, and someone in the comments says, no, it's pronounced this way. I don't remember how the commenter said it should be pronounced, so I'm not going to try it. But when I fire the ATGM, it verges off to the left and swerves like a snake. Yeah, so it's essentially useless unless at medium range. Long range, no problem. Point blank range, I don't know. But the Sabo works like a charm. It is fantastic. And there goes the T-55. LZHR is down. But yeah, he scared me. When I was looking the other way, and he comes up, and I'm like, oh, hi. But what he does next, I was not expecting. Something unorthodox, yet original. I think you get the idea. Of all things, why he spawns in a biplane, I don't know. Maybe he did it for fun. You'll have to ask him, if you know him, that is. But anyway, I'm still holding down the fort. And I'm waiting for the IT-1 to either make a mistake, or perhaps... Yeah, I was checking on the scoreboard, or not the scoreboard, his profile to see... I don't know why I was even checking it, because back in the day you could check to see what vehicle ranks they had for both Air Forces and Ground Forces, but that was back in the day. So I hear an airplane engine, and bear in mind, in realistic battles, those markers for enemy players, you don't see them. So I'm wondering, where is he coming from? He dives on me, and it doesn't go well. Drops his bombs, they bounce off the roof. I checked the replay later, and one was actually right by my track. And the only damage I took, wait for it, was a damaged optic port. Yeah. 50 kilogram bombs have got nothing on the KPZ-70. And this guy, Pete TH, judging by his eyes and the bush wig he has, he looks like he could be a Zero Fighter fan. Because that's how Zero has it on his KV-2. Bear in mind, this was recorded before our two most recent videos were released, so I'm just joking. He may know Zero, maybe he doesn't, but that's what I thought of. So at this point, I'm just doing ring around the rosies, around the castle patio, gazebo, platform, roof, whatever. I don't even know what this area is supposed to be called anyway. So I'm just driving around, and little do I realize, Pete TH is trying to get on the roof. And AirMollusk is out of the game, so he's watching me, and he tells me, oh my god, there's a T-10M coming up the stairs! So I turn around and try to intercept him, and I can see him climbing up. He never sees me. I don't know if he was just exploring it for the fun of it, like, oh, what's up here? But little did he realize, boom! KPZ-70 on the roof. He was not alone. Yeah. And I lost my train of thought. I decide to drive around the roof again and see what else I can find. Let's see if this is it. So I snipe some more AI. and just keep holding down the fort. The funny thing is, I thought this was a player. I didn't know it was an AI, but I thought, oh, he messed up. He might have panicked. So I get a shot at him. I messed that up. Try using my 20mm, which is fantastic against planes. And I finally get him easy. So at this point, I'm going to skip forward a little bit. I'm trying to recapture Zone A. And at this point, my heart is pounding. I'm freaking out. Like, is someone going to come up from behind me like that T-10M tried to do? Is someone going to come from the side? Or what? It was a grueling 4, I think, maybe 5 minutes for me to capture the zone. Artillery's going off, and that especially is freaking me out. Not knowing what's going to happen. But I capture the zone, and then I decide to pull back to a better spot and wait for some more tanks to come. I hear tank shots, and Pete TH is coming back with his T-34-100. And what he'll do later was rather impressive. So here's the score at this point. 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go. I got 9 tanks destroyed, 2 capture points, and no assists. So at this point, I hear what sounds like another tank. And I look over, and I'm like, really? It's a Shilka. Kazumi has come back with his Shilka. Don't get me wrong, he can pen me. And he did scare me there, because he could have got my weak side armor, which at the front is 80mm, but on the rear is only, like, if I recall correctly, 40mm. So while he's not looking, I do a little sneaky breaky move. Excuse me. Get in a better position. He's still shooting at me. Sorry, I'm belching a lot. I get my 20mm on, and I accidentally fire my Sabo, and I give him hull break. Another tank down. Still no death. And the castle is still mine. Although there are more trespassers soon to come. Crusaders, Turks, whatever you want to call them. So at this point, it seems like we have the advantage. We may not have as many tanks as they do in terms of players. AI don't really count that much, particularly on the dev server. But Pete is still trying to get up the castle wall like I did. I didn't know he was there, so I decided to take a little peek to see if he's there. And another way to show the highlight that this gazebo does not hold an unfair advantage. In fact, it can actually pose a disadvantage. Because if you can block the stairs, you essentially deny the roofer's ability to escape the castle. Because I can't dash out because he can one-shot my lower plate. He deploys smoke and tries to hide. He wasn't too much of a threat. He wasn't capping, so I decided to stay on the roof. But what he does here was ingenious. And if I would have been cocky and tried to get down there, he could have easily killed me. Because where he hid was right under the stairs. So if I came down, he could turn his gun to wherever I was coming from, and he could have making quick work of me. I didn't know the section was there, but nonetheless I didn't want to come down there because he wasn't a threat, and I didn't feel like coming down here to get him anyway, so I decided to stay up here, do a little ring around the rosy again, in case he might have tried to come back up the stairs another direction or the same way he did before. I don't know. At any rate, I continue to drive around the gazebo to try to use my speed as an advantage to maybe catch him from the rear like I did the first time in his T10M. Oh yeah, what I was talking about was the disadvantage. I couldn't go down because he could have one-shot me, my lower plate or similar, or he could have really damaged me and then got me. So just to recap, devs, please keep this here because it's just fun. And it does. I mean, this area, at the north or excuse me, the west wall might pose an advantage, but on the east, not so much. At any rate, no matter if you're in the west or eastern part of the stair entrance, you can hide under the stairs, you can wait for somebody to come down, or you can keep them up there by keeping your gun aimed at them. And if you pay attention, you can keep them up there, and you can take the cap for yourself. At any rate, it's about pretty balanced, I think. But yeah, that was pretty much game. It was a huge blast playing on the dev server. And I definitely cannot wait to get the KPZ-70 on the live server and also the T64. I never used the T64 in a live battle because I didn't research it, but in the test drives, as well as going up against it, it's a pretty tough opponent. Unless you get a lucky shot on the cheeks of the turret, or the lower glacis, or the commander's cupola, you're not going to pen that thing, even with a missile. And if at point blank, you can easily get it, but at long range, T64 has the advantage in armor. So I'm definitely going to get both. KPZ-70 first, and the T64 perhaps next month when I get paid. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed this dev server footage gameplay. KPZ-70, man, it is life. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed, and have a great day. Peace out.